You know what? This was not my plans. I was planning on going to a big lake and fishing from bank into some deep water and hoping for some yellow perch, but instead I am going to be fishing this pond behind me, which, by the way, about 80% of it is frozen. I'm gonna have to walk all the way around. It looks like there's some open water back that way, and I've got a couple ultralights with me and we're gonna go for whatever bites. Now, like I said, I was gonna go to a big lake. I was really gonna try to challenge myself, fish some new water that I'd never fished before, but we got absolutely dumped on with snow yesterday, so I don't really know what the roads are like between here and there, and I really don't want to test it. So we're gonna fish a little bit more local, gonna avoid getting our car stuck, and fingers crossed we can catch something. But the reality is, probably some pretty low odds today. We're gonna give it our all though. Let's get started. You know, I actually brought 4 ultralight rods with me today, so I've got plenty of gear, but I'm actually just gonna grab the drop shot, and we're gonna just fish the drop shot. I trust that'll work. If anything's gonna bite, drop shot should work, so that's what we're going with. Got a tromp through a ton of snow. I'm telling you, I think we got anywhere between about 14 inches and 16. I'm not entirely sure. Well, got about one little section that I can fish, but the good news is this is actually where I wanted to fish, so that's good. You know, this is a little public pond, like I said, and it gets a ton of pressure during the normal season, but can't say that very many people are going to be fishing it this time of year. It's a little sketchy right here, but this is where we're going to stand. A lot of wind coming at us, so it's really freaking cold. I've only fished here a handful of times, maybe 2 or 3, and it's never been good to me, but I've only fished it during like the summer. I have no idea if there's any yellow perch in here, but I figure that's about the only chance of fish that we have. I really think that the bass and bluegill are going to be basically completely shut down. So I pray that there's yellow perch in here. I just do not know. I would imagine there's probably a couple, but it's hard to say because it is a small body of water. Spot number 2. I've only fished this little park twice, and I didn't have much luck here either. Again, I have no idea if there's any perch here either. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go with a Workhorse jig with a little cut off piece of Finesse worm. Looks like we've got a little bit of depth here, so if there's perch around, there should be some here. Heavy crosswind right here, which is about the last thing I want. This is a Fenwick Elite light finesse rod that I'm borrowing from my friend Steve. I'm gonna do a video on it at some point, but I wanna wait until I actually have some decent fishing so I can really do it justice. But I've been testing it a little bit here and there and definitely like the rod. One of my goals this winter is to try to find some bodies of water that actually has some consistent quality of yellow perch. Unfortunately, it feels like a lot of the lakes that I fish just have big overpopulation of small yellow perch. But what I'm really looking to find is, you know, consistent 8 to 10 inch fish. I think that would be wonderful. So as I ice fish this winter, that's definitely something that's going to be a priority for me. You know, I'd love to ice fish and hopefully catch some crappie, bluegill, bass, whatever. But yellow perch is kind of top of mind for me. My guides are freezing up, man. My guides are freezing up. All right, let's go hit the next spot and hopefully it's not frozen. Good news, it's not frozen. So hopefully there's still perch here. The wind is blowing our direction, so it's gonna be cold, but that might actually be a good thing. It was about a week and a half ago when I was catching those fish. So we know there's fish around. We don't know if they're still willing to eat or not, but I gotta imagine they are. I don't think it'll take long to find out. If they're willing to eat, I feel like they'll eat within the first few minutes. I'm just slow dragging this and kind of hopping it along the bottom. Anytime it starts to feel like it's bogging down in something, I snap it a little bit. I'm really just trying to keep it on the bottom. fishing it just about the same as I did the drop shot. Oh, there's a bite. He doesn't have it. He thumped it a couple times. There's still perch around. Clearly they're a little finicky though. There, he's got it. He came back for it. Actually feels like a pretty good one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, look at that. How about that? All the hard work pays off. I probably should have just started here, but I wanted to experiment and try some other waters. You know, it's always about getting better, and you know, these yellow perch are beautiful, but I want to replicate this on other bodies of water too. That's a perfect little perch right there. Man, beautiful. All right, feels good to be catching fish when the snow's coming down. It's nice and cold. See ya, buddy. Where there's one perch, there's always going to be two. I trust we're going to be able to catch another. This water temp has got to be just like very lightly above 32. I mean, it's going to be frozen soon. We just need a couple calm days. We've had a lot of wind, which is obviously, you know, kind of churns it up a little bit, keeps it from freezing. But I imagine that surface temp is pretty darn low. I just love how yellow perch are actually, there's another one. Yes, 2 casts in a row. Okay, there's fish here, baby. There's fish here. A little bit smaller than the last one, but just as beautiful. Look at that. Look at those colors. And like I said, I'm just using a little chunk of a finesse worm. Just snipped it off. It's just a typical bass finesse worm. And put it on that 1/8 ounce Workhorse jig. It pairs up quite nicely. It's probably about 2 3/4 inches, almost like a little micro Ned rig. And perch seem to like it. Perch, man, perch group up, you know, and if there's 2 willing to bite right in a row, I gotta imagine there's gonna be a 3rd, maybe even a 4th and a 5th. There's fish here, baby. You know, I never really like to bank fish the same spot in 2 videos in a row. I like to mix it up and try new areas, and that was totally my plan today, but this is about the only spot I can catch fish, so I might as well fish it, you know? And quite honestly, we're not gonna have any open water at all here soon, so I might as well fish the places that I can actually get bites. Whew. Oh, okay, that wind. I do not know how much of this I can take. That wind is just whipping my butt right now. I need another pair of pants, a couple more coats, and some gloves that actually have fingers on them. Because right now I am freezing and it is not very comfortable out here. And I have not gotten any more bites since that second fish. So I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try to mix it up for a second. All right, on this other rod, I've got a slip float rig with a little 1/16 ounce Workhorse jig and a horsefly, all black. And we've got it set to about 6 foot. So I'm gonna toss this out there and see if we can't catch something on a more slow moving vertical presentation. Back to the jig and worm. Oh, my fingers are so cold. Dadgum, I am suffering out here. I'm gonna ride or die with the jig and worm. We're gonna fish it hard for a few more minutes, and hopefully we can catch at least one more perch. Most people are sitting by a fire right now, relaxing, and I'm out here catching yellow perch. Look at that. There we go. Number 3. Number 3. I mean, those fish right there, even the smaller ones like this, man, they are gorgeous. Jig and worm works. Not a very big fish, but nice and healthy. See ya, buddy. Oh, cool. 3 fish, man. 3 fish in frigid conditions. Gotta love when you go to cast it and your guides are so iced up that it just doesn't want to cast. That's wonderful. Golly, this weather. I ain't lying to you, it's cold. I really want to be able to go replicate this bite somewhere else. I just cannot seem to find lakes that have good populations of yellow perch. This lake right here is a little bit of a cheat code, and I need to find some more bodies of water like this that have the yellow perch populations like this, because I really like these fish. I think they're really fun. That fish was so weird in how he bit. he like ate it and I didn't feel a dang thing. And so I basically just reeled him in. That was super weird. But another beautiful fish, man. Another beautiful fish. I think he was down in like a weed bed or something. That was weird. All right, see if, come on, buddy. Hey, he's got a dang leaf in his mouth. What are you doing, man? Don't eat a leaf. See ya, buddy. Oh, okay, cool. Oh. Oh, I'm definitely gonna make a hot cocoa when I get home. That's gonna be freaking awesome. That is exactly what I need right now, is a hot cocoa. I probably should have just came here from the start because, oh my gosh, I got throttled. But something about me, I just like to go try to replicate bites elsewhere, to constantly try to learn more as an angler. Man, that perch just rocked my world right there. Holy smokes, look at that one. Beauty, beauty. Good little perch. See ya, buddy. Anyways, what I was saying is I really like to try to replicate patterns and learn new things and push myself as an angler. And I felt like the easy route would be to just come here. And I knew that it was just going to be kind of my backup option. So really this was like plan D today. You know, plan A was to go somewhere completely different, but I didn't want to deal with it with all this snow. Plan B, went to that park. Nope. Plan C, another park. Nope. Plan D, came here, and it was worthwhile. Oh, I was getting a little short strike, and I was patient with him. He finally grabbed the jig. He was grabbing at the tail. This little guy was pulling at the tail, pulling at the tail. Finally grabbed the jig, and I got him. And you know what? It's not actually a bad perch. Little jig and worm worked quite well today, and cut a bunch of perch about this size. See you, buddy. On that note, I am freezing, and I'm gonna go have a hot cocoa. So that was a few days ago, and the funny thing is literally the next day, all three of those bodies of water were entirely frozen. We had a cold snap, and we have had a bunch of snow since. So essentially what I'm saying is open water fishing is done for the time being, and we're gonna be ice fishing soon. But I wanted to take this as an opportunity to basically recap 2022 and then think forward a little bit and talk about 2023 and some of my personal, plans and some of the things I'm excited for. So first off, with 2022, I thought what was really cool is, if you'll recall, for those of you who have been watching the channel all year, you know that my first open water trip of the year, I literally broke a whole bunch of ice to get my kayak on the water. I ended up catching quite a few bass, and it was a great day on the water. Well, we ended the season by fishing within 12 hours of the water being totally frozen over. So essentially what I'm saying is I caught fish from ice out to ice in, 33-degree water, all the way up to 33-degree water. It's pretty cool that 2022 was such a successful year. I really think it was one of my best years of fishing. I caught tons of fish. I caught a lot of different species. In fact, I did the math, and I believe I think I caught 16 total species of fish, which is pretty solid. I think I've done better in the past, but 16 total species of fish is pretty good, and I'm happy about that. And that really speaks to why I changed my name recently to Fish Anything. I'm all about multi-species fishing, and that's definitely going to be a continued focus in the future. But as far as 2022 goes, I'd say there are three fish I wanted to talk about, three specific fish catches. Number one, the walleye, the random like 24 plus inch walleye that I caught on a tube while bass fishing. I don't know why that fish was there, but it was exciting to me, and that's definitely a species of fish that I want to learn more about in the future. So that was really cool to me. Number two, the bowfin. For those of you who didn't see that video yet, it'll be linked in the description below, but the bowfin was incredibly exciting to me because that's a fish species that I want to learn more about, but also it's just a cool species, like one of the coolest species in Michigan. It's such an interesting fish. And the fact that I caught that thing flipping a speed worm, he literally bumped it twice on 2 casts before eventually committing to it on the 3rd cast. And I set the hook and I'm like, oh boy, it's a pretty big fish. And it happened to be a bowfin, which was really, really cool. I definitely want to catch more bowfin in the future. And then lastly, you guys obviously know what was my favorite fish of the year, the 10¼ inch bluegill. I ended my Pursuit of a 10 series with a bang. I caught a 10¼ inch female bluegill, caught it on a donkey tail junior. What an absolutely cool fish. You know, I set that goal in May of 2021 to catch a 10-inch bluegill, and I accomplished it about a year later, which is pretty solid because, quite honestly, there's not that many 10-inch bluegill in a lot of the waters I've fished. So I was really proud to finally make that happen. Now, as far as moving forward goes, obviously over the next couple months, I'm going to try to do some ice fishing, and I'm excited about that, but I'd be lying if I told you that I like ice fishing as much as I do open water fishing. Open water fishing is where my heart's at. I love open water fishing. That is what I prefer to do. So as far as 2023 goes, the things that I'm most excited for, quite honestly, are going to be a lot of the same stuff that I did this year, except I want to build on it, and I want to continue to push myself, not only as a fisherman, but as a content creator, and I want to make better videos and more interesting series. So you can definitely look out for that. So a few of the things that I'm personally excited for: number one, I want to continue to do a lot of ultralight multi-species fishing. That is what I like doing. It is one of my, I'd say, strong suits. I love talking about ultralight rods. I love talking about ultralight techniques. It's definitely something that I intend to do a lot more of in 2023. That being said, I'm not only going to fish ultralight. The other things that I want to do that I'm most excited about are really the series. You know, the Pursuit of a 10, slab stories. These are things that I've done that have made me a better angler, and that they forced me to become a better multi-species angler, and they forced me to learn more about species that I never paid as much attention to in the past. So I've learned a lot about bluegill. I feel pretty good about that. I've still got a lot to learn, but pretty good angler, I would say. Crappie, this year was an amazing year for crappie. 2022, I learned more about crappie than I had in any other year of my fishing life. And while I've still got a ton of learning to do, I'm a pretty decent angler for crappie. I feel like I can locate them and catch them, you know, a good part of the year. Definitely going to continue to learn more about them in 2023 and beyond, but feeling good. As far as 2023 goes, though, a couple series that I really want to work on. Number one, I want to do some river smallmouth fishing. So obviously I'm not going to do ultralight for that. I'll do more traditional bass fishing gear, but I want to learn more about smallmouth bass in current and in river systems. I told myself I was going to do that this year. I did not ever get a chance to do it. That's definitely something that I will do in 2023. So stay tuned for that. I think that's going to be a really fun series. It's going to be numerous videos, all with the same goal: big smallmouth bass in rivers. Gotta love it. The other species that I would say really excites me is one that I've been talking about for the last couple of years, and I just haven't taken the time to go out there and chase them that much, and that's northern pike. You know, northern pike I'm obviously not going to focus ultralight on. It's going to be a little bit more of the bass gear, a little bit heavier gear, but that's a species that they hit like a freight train. They're big, they're mean, they got all the teeth. They're a really cool predator, and it's a fish that I want to learn more about because I don't know that much about them. My long-term goal as an angler, you know, I named this channel Fish Anything. My long-term goal is to be a really good multi-species fisherman. And Fish Anything basically is in line with that. I want to be able to catch anything that swims. And part of that is taking it one species at a time and learning as much as I possibly can on that one species and then moving on to the next. And then eventually, my goal is to be like a really good, well-rounded angler. I want to be able to go to any body of water and catch any type of fish. And that's really what I see myself doing when I'm retired and 70 years old sitting out on a canoe. I want to be able to catch any species in the lake that I fish. And that's kind of what it's all about. And so this year, I would say smallmouth and pike are probably what I'm going to focus on, but you never really know. The reality is I change my mind so dang fast because I've got a really short attention span. So who knows what comes in 2023? That's why I wanted to ask you, if you have any specific things that you would like to see from this channel in 2023, never hesitate to reach out. Drop a comment below if there's something that really you think you would really enjoy seeing from my channel, and I will definitely keep that in consideration because I love hearing from you and I love hearing what you want to see from my channel. Lastly, I'll just say this: I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so very much for watching my channel in 2022. I hope that we have an even better 2023. I appreciate you. We'll catch you next time.